Yes, please.
Package being considered by the ministry to solve the economic crisis in the northeastern states?
See, I have never favored this idea of special packages for each state. As I said, central funds are given to states under the heads that are just now read. This is either in the Constitution or in the Finance Commission's recommendations. And then there are a large number of central programs. These programs are funded by the Government of India, and funds are distributed to various states depending upon the need and their capacity to absorb. For example, take the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Now there are states in which the roads have already been built and the villages have been connected. In fact, I mentioned 5 or 6 states in my budget speech. Now they will not get funds under PMGSY 1. Funds will actually go to states where the connectivity is poor. If connectivity is poor in the northeastern states, they will get more money. Therefore, central government programs which are funded by the government, funds flow to the states depending upon the need of the state and the capacity of the state to absorb. That is the only way in which states can be helped. Every state was backward at some time or another, but some states have moved up because they have used the funds well. The states that are backward today must move up by using funds well, funds which are given by the central government and funds which are their own resources. Now, apart from this, we have 2 Planning Commission heads under which money is given. One is SCA, Special Category Assistance. The other is SPA, Special Project Assistance. Now, Special Category Assistance is given to the states that are backward and poor. And Special Project Assistance is also given to those states alone. And as far as I know, a large proportion of SCA and SPA goes to the northeastern states.
Yes, please, you had a question.
Then what about the special category demand by states like Odisha and Bihar?
As I said, from the state's point of view, every state is in a special category. Point is, we give funds according to the constitutional scheme and according to the Finance Commission. Over and above that, for the northeastern states and some other states, we've got the special category assistance and the special project assistance. Now take, for example, Odisha and Bihar that you mentioned. When I was finance minister earlier, I created the BRGF, the Backward Regions Grant Fund. And this time also, we have announced a large sum of money under Backward Regions Grant Fund. And under the Backward Regions Grant Fund this year, we have provided a sum of rupees. Where's the BRGF amount? I'll tell you the amount in a moment. State component, and the state component has a component for Bihar, it has a component for the KBK districts of Odisha. The BRGF amount is for the current year is 11,500 crore plus 1,000 crore for the LW affected districts. So total sum of 12,500 crore is provided for 2013-14. And I quote from my speech, BRGF will include a state component for Bihar, the Bundelkhand region, West Bengal, the KBK districts of Odisha, and the 82 districts under the Integrated Action Plan.
Editor Andhra Jyoti. In our state, SC/ST component plan is introduced, and a separate action plan for agriculture is also introduced along with the state budget. And there is an increasing demand to allocate a certain amount of GDP to services like sanitation. Do you favor certain social and sectoral separate budgets at center level also?
You see, there is already in the central government budgeting process, there is already a scheduled caste sub-plan and a tribal sub-plan. In fact, states have followed the central model. It's always there in the central government. And as far as 2013-14 is concerned, the scheduled caste sub-plan has 41,561 crore. And the tribal sub-plan has 24,598 crore rupees. So adequate money has been provided both for the scheduled caste sub-plan and the tribal sub-plan. What the government of Andhra Pradesh has done, and I compliment the government of Andhra Pradesh for that, is that they have made a law under which the budget shall provide money for the scheduled caste sub-plan and for the tribal sub-plan. They are simply doubly ensuring that the finance minister of the state does not deprive the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes of adequate funds. They passed a law, for which I compliment the government of Andhra Pradesh. But as far as the government of India is concerned, we've had a long tradition of creating an SC sub-plan and a tribal sub-plan. There is no need for a special law. In fact, Parliament will not pass the budget or the appropriation bill or the finance bill unless the finance minister provides us money. The fact that Parliament is to ultimately pass the budget is a good enough check that adequate money will be provided for the SC sub-plan and the tribal sub-plan.
I am from Mizoram. What I want to know is availability of financial assistance, loans to the people. In our state, people are advised to deposit money. And when people need and come back to the bank, the banks are not generous enough. That means that credit deposit ratio is very much low there. What do you think you can do so that banks are generous to the people, more generous to the people?
See, the credit deposit ratio can be interpreted in many ways, many different ways. You'll have to look at credit sectorally. We have a priority sector. 40% of all credit must go to the priority sector. That includes agriculture. 18% must go to agriculture. Therefore, you must look at it sectorally and say, which sector is being deprived of credit? Is it because of agriculture? Is it for small industry? Is it for differential rate of interest loans? Is it for education loans? Is it for consumption loans? You have to look at it sectorally. The bulk of the credit is for productive purposes. Agriculture, industry, or starting a business. In the developed states, there is huge demand for credit because there is a lot of industry and service sector activity. In states like Mizoram and other states, there is not enough industry, there is not enough service sector activity. Therefore, there is no demand for credit for these activities, and even if there is demand for credit, not enough credit is made available for these activities because of the bank's constraints. They evaluate a project and then say, sorry, this is not viable, that is not viable. The final answer to improving the credit deposit ratio is to increase economic activity. More industries must be encouraged to be set up. More roads must be built. More schools must be built. There must be more construction. More people must be encouraged to start small businesses. Unless industrial activity picks up, unless manufacturing picks up, unless businesses are established, the credit deposit ratio will not go up. Therefore, what the government must do is create an environment where more people will start businesses, start industries. Capital for that may not be found in Mizoram alone. Capital must come from elsewhere. Capital must come from the rest of the country. Therefore, government must create an environment where more people will begin to invest and start businesses. Public expenditure will take up, will grow. Private expenditure will increase. Only then the credit deficit ratio will improve. But I would like the credit deficit ratio to improve everywhere in the country. But this is directly related to the fact that not enough industrial activity or business activity takes place in that state.